Have you checked your mailbox lately? Social Security beneficiaries are receiving critical documents this week, and your 2025 payments are about to change. So, whether you're relying on retirement, disability, SSI, or VA benefits, let's break down what you need to know this week and how much you could expect to receive as it relates to your Social Security benefits. So, as you all know, Social Security is a lifeline for more than 70 million Americans, providing essential income for retirees, disabled individuals, and others. So this week, Social Security beneficiaries will start seeing those payments and those checks coming through in the mail. And I'm going to be sharing with you those updates. And you should also be able to see that increase of the 2.5 of cost of living adjustments, also known as COLA. So let's dive into the details and why this increase is happening and what you should expect. So this week, you should be receiving at least two key documents coming through in the mail. So number one, you should be receiving your SSA 1099, and this form shows how much Social Security you paid or was paid to you in 2024, and it's essential for tax purposes. Also, you should potentially be able to expect if you qualify for the SSA 1042S, and that's going to be for individuals. If you're a non-US resident, this document outlines your Social Security income and any taxes withheld. So you want to think of these as your financial receipts. So they're going to provide the official proof of your income for the past year. And when you receive these forms, you want to take a moment to review them. All right. So make sure you go ahead and check for the accuracy of these. Any mistakes could actually cause issues down the line, especially if you need to file your taxes or use these documents to be able to prove your income. All right. And that's really, really critical. So make sure you open these as quickly as possible. Again, some people are already receiving their checks in the mail. Some people are receiving these documents in the mail. So it's easy sometimes to be able to let some of these documents pile up in the mail and left unopened, especially if you're seeing this coming from a government agency. But this isn't just another letter. It's going to be a critical document that can impact your finances. So I'm going to break down why opening these and reviewing these as quickly as possible is going to be important. So number one, as I mentioned, this is going to impact your taxes. So if you need to file your federal or state taxes, this document is going to serve as the official record of your Social Security income for 2024. And without it, filing could be more complicated, leading to delays or even penalties. So even if you typically don't file a tax return, remember that it's really important to go ahead and be able to still do it anyways, because you might be able to qualify for unexpected programs such as stimulus checks that could be coming in. If there's new tax credits, it's going to depend on what you put into that tax return. So you want to be able to you have those documents in place to be able to provide proof of income as well. And this form could actually make all the difference in the world. So like I mentioned, there's stimulus payments that are made based on the amounts that you have on your tax return. And many people who didn't file their taxes had to scramble to be able to claim their checks because they didn't have the proper documentation in hand. So do not let that happen to you. Also, as I mentioned, you want to make sure that you are checking the accuracy of these things. Sometimes it can happen to where the information is incorrect. So just imagine Social Security accidentally reporting that you earned 120,000 last year instead of 12,000. And that error could not only just confuse the IRS, but it could be a red flag for an audit, delay your return process, and also possibly reduce your future payments as it relates to Social Security in the future. So you just want to do it the earlier the better. It's going to allow you to be able to deal and handle and reduce the chances of you having issues down the line. All right. So that is why it's key to be able to check your mail and make sure you're checking the updates on this. All right. So let's talk about the actual money that should be coming in this week and before the end of the month. So 2025, as I mentioned, thanks to the 2.5% COLA increase, you should be able to expect the increase in your retirement payments. So Social Security payments. So these adjustments can ensure your benefits keep up with inflation, or at least be able to combat inflation a little bit. And here's what that means. So the average monthly benefit for most beneficiaries, you should be able to see a increase of about $47, bringing the average benefit to about 1,923 over the year. That's an extra 564 in your pocket. So that is a benefit with that. All right. Also, for those who retire at their full retirement age, the maximum monthly benefit actually increases to 4,018. So that's a boost of $98 per month. which can come out to about 1,200 annually as well. Also, if you delayed your retirement to maximize your benefits, you'll now receive a benefit of up to 5,108 per month. So that's additional 125 per month, or 1,500 over the course of a year. All right, so let's talk about early retirement at age 62. So if you started your benefits early, your maximum payment is now 2,831, which is going to be an increase of $70 per month. So just give you an example and help you understand this. So let's say you're currently receiving 1,500 per month. With the COLA increase and the adjustment, your new payment is now going to be 1,537.50, which is a 450 annual increase. And while that may not seem like a lot, it can really be beneficial to be able to cover essentials like groceries, housing, utilities as well. So remember, every dollar counts, and it's important to make sure that the information that you're receiving in the mail this week and at least this month is accurate. And again, people have already been receiving their letters and payments throughout in the mail. All right. So even if you've never needed these forms before, holding on to them can be wise because it can save you time and stress in the future, right? And like I mentioned, it's going to help you with proof of income. If you're applying for a loan, for instance, let's say that you wanted to get a car loan or a mortgage, you want to renting an apartment, for instance, you need to be able to show a steady stream of income, and having these documents in place is going to give you that additional support and proof of that, right? So also being able to qualify for assistant programs as well. So that's going to be key. And like I mentioned, you're either going to receive that SSA 1099 or SSA 1042S if you are a non-US citizen. All right. So that is going to be important to keep in mind and make sure that you have that in place. All right. So also, let's talk about a couple more updates that you need to know as it relates to this. So even if you didn't use these forms right away, you want to make sure that you're using it again for tax purposes. So you want to store the documents, at least keep it somewhere safe. You could have a dedicated folder with your other tax return documents, your W-2s, other rental agreements that you may have. And that's going to be important for you to be able to store and have in place. So if you haven't received the forms yet, don't worry. Again, they're likely on the way. Many people have started to receive them, and they're being sent out in the mail. The Social Security Administration, SSA, ensures that all beneficiaries will receive their annual tax forms, such as the SSA 1099, by January 31st of each year. So there could be some delays that can happen, especially during busy season when it comes to taxes. This is the busy season, but you should be able to expect these forms to come in the mail in the next couple of weeks. And again, if you have not received it by the end of January, make sure you go ahead and try to access them online. You can go to log into your Social Security account at the ssa.gov website to be able to download a digital copy. And it's going to be a quick and secure way for you to be able to retrieve your forms and do so without having to wait for the physical mail to come in to be able to get these documents as well, right? So you check that online portal. And if you don't have access to a computer or experience some issues with the online process, you can go ahead and contact SSA directly at 1-800-772-1213 for assistance. And their representatives can help you verify your information and ensure that you get the right documents in place. All right. So looking forward and looking ahead, right? For February, those payments should be coming out on Monday, February 3rd, 2025. And the Social Security payments are going to be distributed according to your fixed schedule based on your birth date. All right. So if your birthday falls on the 1st to the 10th of the month, you receive your payment on the second Wednesday of February. If your birthday is on the 11th to the 20th, expect your payment on the third Wednesday. For birthdays on the 21st to the 31st, payments will be made on the fourth Wednesday. So it's important to keep track of this schedule to know exactly when to be able to expect your benefits. If your payment doesn't arrive on the expected date, again, like I mentioned, you just want to allow a few days before contacting the SSA, as bank processing times can vary. But by staying informed and being proactive with this, you can ensure that you're going to have a smooth process to be able to have your benefits and avoid unnecessary stress. All right. So again, like I mentioned, the Social Security payments are increasing and the documents should be arriving in your mailbox. And you want to make sure that you open them, you address them timely, you secure them somewhere, and you go ahead and use these to be able to get your taxes done. And if you are looking to be able to learn more about that, I'm going to be sharing some more updates with you throughout the week. But again, especially in February, there's going to be some more payments and checks coming out as it relates to this. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.